Hi everyone, welcome back to another
Hello.
episode of Mystic Scales and Fae
And
Tales
Fate Tales
podcast.
podcast. Hi,
We're
hi.
excited. We have a guest on. We have a very amazing episode. We are going to be talking about the series Crescent City by Sarah J. Maas,
Yes.
wherever you say it. Lee, do you want to go ahead and introduce our guest?
Yeah, so today we have Linnea with us, another member of our Fable book club. So welcome. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
Do you want
you.
to go ahead and introduce yourself? Just kind of tell us a little bit about how you started on your SJM journey and go from there.
Sure, and thank you so much for having me. It's very exciting to be here, and it's been such a journey from just having to read Throne of Glass and then to Akota as well. I didn't really read that with you guys, but I kind of followed up. Um, but yeah, I just started reading Sarah J. Maas in October. One night I couldn't sleep.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Even shorter than
And
us.
Oh my
yeah,
God. Yeah, we started in August.
because I was just like, I've been studying so many years, and when you study, you don't really, or at least I didn't read for fun anymore.
Mm.
Mm.
And I just now had such long break from any kind of books that I was just like, let me see what's going on in the book world. And then I just dropped into the Akata universe. And well, now we're here today, I
Here we
guess.
are.
Yeah.
That's so
Love.
often the story we've seen is like ACOTAR is that book that gets everyone like back into reading. Like whether or not you end up loving the series or not, like it gets you going again that you're
Yeah.
like, okay, which is what happened with me personally too. It happened to me a couple years ago. ACOTAR got me back into reading after a really long time of not reading. So we gotta thank her for that at least.
Yeah. So I have to ask, which one is your favorite series?
From Sage Mass so
Yeah.
far. It's gonna be the Throne of Glass.
Okay.
Yes, correct
Yeah.
Yeah.
answer.
Like even though it was Ekota who got me into this whole thing, I just think the character and the build up of the characters and the build up of the world is just it's just so great in Throne of Glass.
Mhm.
Even though
Yeah.
the writing, you do really feel that or sense that it is her first books.
Yeah.
She becomes a lot better throughout the books. So that's
Yeah.
also
It
very interesting to see.
it's so crazy. Yeah, like I think for a lot of people, her best is her first, but you do recognize that like she gets better. And I don't know. I think I really liked Crescent City, guys. Like
I changed my
I wasn't
opinion
I
because I was
wasn't
telling
planning on it.
I was trashing Crescent City Dilly for so long, and I think either I rushed into it or I don't know what it was. I remember it being so long and being so frustrated. And I was reading like, I was on track with when the last book came out. I was reading it when it came out, and I was just like, oh my God, like, we waited so long for the end of book two, and then we got book three, and it just wasn't as satisfying. And I think doing the graphic audio this time helped because I was
Mm,
able to be like, okay, I was able to like relate to the characters more. Where the reader who does Crescent City is the same reader as Throne of Glass and the same reader as ACOTAR. They have the same girl for all of SJM's books, which she's amazing.
mm.
She's very good.
She is. Yeah, she
But
is good.
the actors in graphic audio just made the series better for me. And like it made me connect more to the characters and I guess like humanize them a bit more.
Mm,
So I ended up liking the series a little bit better than I did the first time. It still could have
yeah.
cut like she still could have cut like 80% of what she wrote, but yeah, it was still really good.
Yeah. Yeah. And I would have been fine if it was a standalone. Like the first one was like great. So,
Yeah,
but
I
I
always loved the
did,
first one. It is good.
yeah, I did like there's a lot of character growth that I did really enjoy by the third one. But I also would have been fine with just like because like you said, like it's a murder mystery, which I was not expecting. Um, but okay, so Linnea, what did you read it physically? Did you listen? Did you ebook? How did you take Crescent City?
I usually do a mix between ebook on my Kobo and then on audio book. I tried the graphic novels for the fifth book of Avatar with the
Mm,
Nesta,
Oh yeah.
which I'm happy I did it with that one because I don't think I was ready to revisit that universe quite yet.
Mm.
Um, so with the graphic audio, it definitely helps a bit on the on like getting through it. I don't want to say it
Yeah.
as like it's a struggle, but it is a very different way of consuming a book.
Yeah. Yeah. But it does, I think it does help. Especially like with that book, there was a lot of characters that like people didn't like. Like I
Mm.
know Jen, you're a Nesta stan, but a lot of people are
loves
not.
Nesta.
Um, but I think the graphic does help with that because you get to like feel her more, and understand her more.
10,000 steps she had to go.
Yeah.
That was tough listening to.
Yeah.
I felt that.
There's a
Yeah, and I feel
review
like
that's
when I
like
read
woman learns how to
it.
walk up and down stairs. Like,
It's
That's
true.
hilarious. I also think the graphic audio helped with Crescent City because I know that we talked about this a little bit in the group, but the transition from like regular fantasy to like tech fantasy was kind of jarring, at least for me. And
Yeah.
I remember like a lot of us talked about this as well. So I think the graphic audio helped with that, where they would have like the cell phone ringing or the cell phone texting, and I'm like, okay, that helped. But I
yeah,
remember the first time I read it, I was like, this is weird. Like, there's fairies and cell phones. Like, it was hard for me.
it's definitely interesting. Yeah. And
That
like
was
at
a
the
shock for me as well, definitely. Coming into that modern universe and just thinking, did I pick up a sci-fi by mistake or where am I? But I gotta say, I really like the new take on it. But of course, she still have this very old school view on some aspects of how people interact, like the women still being a property of men. She
Mm,
still has those old school views, but
mhm.
in this a bit of a mirror to our own daily lives, right? There's like cell phone, social media and whatnot. So
Right.
yeah.
And even like Hunt having his like realization that he like loves Bryce comes from a slideshow on his phone.
Yeah.
I just imagine, in the like if you guys have iPhones and like the Apple iPhone photo app, like it randomly can put a slideshow together for
Oh
you and
yeah.
it'll pick its own song and it'll just like
Yeah.
it's kind of just like imagine like this slow song in the back of all of your pictures just going like that's just what I imagine with HUD and I'm like this is not the situation you want to see when you're like locked in a prison.
Right. You're gonna die, but okay.
It's a great transition, Lee, though. Let's talk about book one. Let's start with book one. We got book one. We introduced all these characters, which is a huge shift for SJM because we're getting other magical creatures. Usually with
Mhm.
SJM, we just have fairies and witches and shifters. And now we have shifters and werewolves and mermaids. The mer is a huge introduction, angels.
Mhm.
And then we get to know Bryce and Danica. Danica, a wolf that is soon to be, spoiler for the entire episode and the entire series, murdered. So, since it was your first time, I have a question for the two of you. How was your reaction to the murder? Was it something that like made you excited to keep reading, or were you pissed and did it bring you back as a reader, or did you love it?
Uh,
I had to put the book down just to like I didn't know if I should cry or be happy or not happy, but like just something was happening. But I was like, I thought Danica would be the main person
Mm-hmm.
in this
Agreed.
story. When I first read this, I was like, why isn't Danica the main character? And then she goes off and just in this murder scene, and you're just in shock because it's just been like these happy girls who had this like really great friendships behind them or like between them, and then it's just like it just falls apart in chapter three.
Yeah, very
And
early.
somehow she still gets like Sarah still gets us so um like we like these personalities and we like their friendship so much. So it still hits us so
Yeah.
hard. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I got
I
angry and sad at the same time.
I think I was like a little disbelieving because I think I even said to you, Jen, like I was like, they're not coming back. And you're like, no, girl, they're torn apart. Like they're done. I was like, yeah, but maybe they're not really.
Yeah, Lee
But
was
no.
very convinced that there was like some magic that was happening, that they were just gonna walk through the door like, I'm alive still. And I was like, Lee, no.
Yeah. So I think maybe I was just confused because it was so sudden. Um,
I'm
Denial
so
is the
sad.
first step, right?
yeah,
Niall,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, we do see her again. We see her a couple times. Um, and like it did make me emotional, even though like Danica, because yeah, I think we did have that feeling like we thought she was going to be the main character, kind of thought she should be the main character. And then, and I don't know if you felt this the first time you read it, but I was like over her after a while. And like over the idea that these girls didn't know each other for that long. And like Danica's keeping all kinds of secrets, had enough time to go have a mate, and we all know how rare mates are. So,
Rare. Yeah, like Bryce only knew Danica like maybe 4 years longer than um Baxian, I
Mhm.
think, because they had all of
yeah.
college together, which we're assuming is 4 years, the same as here. And then like he knew her for 2 years before she died. So we're assuming Bryce and Danica only knew each other for around 6 years. And yeah, Bryce knew nothing about Danica, apparently, which is crazy. The entire series. Yeah, she still is like
Yeah.
a main character even from Beyond. And I know that they put a lot of bonus chapters out for like the release of the books with more chapters
Mm,
with Bryce and Danica, but I think that was our biggest critique is that we wish they had that mixed into the series because although you still felt that connection between Bryce and Danica, I feel like you needed more of those moments to really feel that and to feel their love. And I think there is I might be wrong about this, I have to look it up, but I think there also is a bonus chapter with Baxine and Danica, and I would have
mm,
appreciated that by like the third book to at least if you're going to keep bringing her up, like how is her
mm.
relationship flowing with everyone?
Yeah.
Which I haven't gone back and read all of those, and it's like I should go read them, but it's like it'd be great if they were in the original one.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you read all of them? Because you posted them, right? In the group, all the bonus chapters. I think
Uh,
I only
I
read the
think that
ruined
was,
one.
yeah, I read all the Akuta ones,
Mm.
including the one with the Asriel, which was a big mistake.
Oh my
Yes.
Don't
God, we'll
read
talk
that
about
one.
him. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
will say it's funny because I was just sold on the Danica Bryce relationship so fast. But then following up, I know that we are following the point of view from Bryce, so we only know what she knows.
True.
But throughout the storyline, throughout the whole plot, the all changes about like, oh, Danica is now a synth, like the drug dealer, and now
Mm.
she's a rebel, and now she's this, now she's this. And at some point, I just felt like I was thrown so much around that I didn't know what to think anymore.
Mm.
So I think she should have picked more important breaks
Hmm.
or like um changes of our mind of Danica instead of using it 20 times.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
because then it we all began to be a bit tired of Danica and Bryce's relationship in the end, which was so bad. Because I really liked and loved their relationship in the beginning. So
Me too.
Yeah, I
yeah.
agree.
Yeah.
I think I remember Lee vividly that once we got to the backseat mate reveal, you were like, "Are you kidding me?" You were like, "What? This is two different people at this point." And I was like, "I know. I feel like she did. You're right. She did way too many like jump scares or like character reveals that you're just like, okay, like I don't really care anymore. She's dead."
Yeah. Yeah. The one that stands out that I think she could have weaved in earlier better was like with the archives and they were like, well, why do you think Danica was always stashing things at the
Oh
archives?
yeah.
And it was like, well, okay, great, but like why couldn't we learn that in book one? Like, because clearly it would have been helpful. But
I saw this interview with Sarah J. Maas that she writes her whole book through her characters' like choices. If she wants the plot to go one way, but her character kind of tells her, no, no, I want to do this one instead. Like I want to do these actions or reactions to something that happened. Instead, she will actually go with the character's choices. And
Okay.
Interesting.
that is why it might seem a bit
Mm.
skew from the main plot sometimes that we are thrown around so quickly. But I think there are so many characters in these books that the thrown around of the reader is just it's so much.
Yeah.
There's definitely some characters that could have been dropped, like kill your darlings is one way of saying
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. I totally agree. Like there are so many Therian chapters. There's so many Ethan chapters. So I mean, I love Lydia, but so many Lydia chapters. So many like it's hard to follow and it's good that you point that up because that kind of makes sense because we were getting so frustrated with Bryce throughout and be like, Bryce, why are you doing this again? Like you literally just did this like 2 books ago. Like why are you
Mm.
getting mad at Hunt for no reason? Like you need to
Hmm.
get over it, and that makes sense that if she's only going with what her character leads her to be, but it just I still think the editor could have came in after and been like, okay, let's do this.
I
Right.
would have loved if she had not brought up the dragon lady. I don't remember her name, sorry. But
Oh my
then
God,
and then
Yeah.
had
yeah.
maybe Hypaxia in instead, because she has some chemistry with Therion either way. Like
Mm.
either as a friendship or something
Hmm.
more, I don't know, but just keep it as those two. And maybe instead of bringing the whole Sirit Fentir, like Danica number 2,
Oh
in,
yeah.
keep it as Ethan just battling with himself with the whole alpha male deal or the alpha leader of the pack, and maybe
Hmm.
his need for his dead brother's guidance. And
Hmm.
therefore, he can still do the whole searching for the dead with Hypixia still. But
Sure.
you don't need an extra character to make this plot flow either way. So I love her character building, and this is why I also love to still read her books. Like it's a whole reality TV series for me when I read these kinds of books.
Literally.
But
Yeah.
but I think with this series especially, it's a bit too much for me.
It's a
Yeah,
lot.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah.
I think like those are excellent examples. Like the Sigrid, Ethan, it was stupid. When Sigrid was introduced, it was interesting. And then of course, like your brain goes, all right, that's his mate, like gotta get there. And it wasn't. And like all of a sudden we got Perry and her cinnamon strawberry scent. And I was like, what does that even smell like?
It
But
especially with the Sigrid, I mean Sabine storyline, I feel like
mm,
Sabine that storyline could have ended book 2. Like Sabine randomly just coming in
yeah,
and being like, "I hate Bryce, give me the sword. I hate Bryce, give me the sword." And then the until the end with like Sigrid being a Reaper and then them killing the what's his name?
the
Not the Alpha,
prime,
the Prime. Totally forgot that
the
happens, by the way.
prime.
Which is crazy the fact that I forgot that happened. Like that's a plot point, and I'm
Yeah.
revisiting the series after I read it, and I went, "Oh my God, Lee, I totally forgot that that happened." Like there's so much happened in this book, I can't remember that.
Yeah.
So I feel like that could have happened, or the Sabine ended all book 2,
Yeah.
like
But
Mm,
way
as a
long ago.
villain, Sabine is, I gotta say, I love her as a villain. She is so mean
Really?
and she's so egocentric that
mm,
she just wants whatever is good for her and no one else, even her daughter. And
yeah.
I got
She came
annoyed
in
every
with
time I just heard her name or read her name. And that's exactly how I want a villain to be. That I
mm,
just like, no, not her.
I don't know. For
I don't
me,
know.
she blended it too much with the Viper Queen. Like we got so much of the Viper Queen and so much of
Mm,
Sabine. It felt like the two characters kind of blended in my head. And I was on the team that was more Viper Queen. Um, even though I felt like she kept coming back so much, and I was like, you didn't
yeah,
need to.
she just didn't have
Whatever.
motivation. Like she was cool and like creepy and like had her like nails and everything, but like I didn't understand what she was like, what was her operation, you know?
Yeah.
So but that's a good point. Like again, like the editors could have been like, let's blend these characters. Like you have the like meat of them, the chops for them, like, but let's move the story uh
I'm very interested in hearing where about the Viper Queen could be from. because we keep talking about like different
Oh,
worlds, and I
mm-hmm.
don't know where she would fit in.
That's a
So I'm
great
just
question.
wondering where she's from, because she seems so out of place.
She does, you're right.
I didn't even think of
And
that.
I love the connection to like Throne of Glass and the shifters and like I think Linnea, you pointed out the word and the word marks connection, which I oh, this is just so cool. So yeah, I don't know.
I don't know why she's not connecting the three books more. It's I'm assuming it's because she just wants to do more things, and we've pointed this out before, like with Throne of Glass, she planned all these three series to connect from the beginning of Throne of Glass because once we get to Kingdom of Ash, where Aelin is falling through the world, she falls through all three, but she only falls through Crescent City and sees like the city. Like she doesn't fall through Crescent City during a certain moment in the books,
Mm.
where in ACOTAR she falls through at a certain moment when Feyre and Rhys are outside and Feyre's already
Hmm.
pregnant.
Right.
But it is weird that she throws in so many like the Word, the Book of the Dead, or she'll throw in like all these things, hell, demons, and you're just like, okay, why? But then I'm like, I wonder if it was a publishing thing where I don't know, they were like, oh, ACOTAR is your more best-selling series, like let's connect that first. Or if she did that.
Mm.
And I know that she eventually will have I mean, it's rumored that she's going to eventually have more books to connect all three of them, but it was a little weird to me. It's like this was a perfect opportunity to like really mend them all together. And I guess you could say she kind of did that with the shifters because I think well, my theory is that the shifters came from the Feyland that was like a when Ayla mentioned like they're above Terracin or they're hidden up and then they come to help them at the end in Kingdom of Ash. Like it could be
Hmm.
them that left or there's also there was Faye originally in what's that door? Is that it? Door? Um what's the one we're in when we go to with Kato? Not Kato. Oh my God, I'm mixing books. Oh my God. The one we go in Tower of Dawn. What's that with the seven siblings? What's that
Oh,
land?
That one.
the Torre?
The
The
Torre. That like that land, they mentioned there
yeah.
used to be Fae there too, so it could have been them.
Oh, that's
Anyway,
true. Yeah.
long-winded to say, I don't know why she doesn't connect the three more in this one at least.
Yeah. I thought like Lydia's backstory could have easily been like, and we were the shifters from this land, you know?
Someone
And
put a meme that was like Aelin 2.0.
She
I
does
love
mention
when
she's called her son Brennan from the
oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
from like Alien's
Oh,
grandfather, uncle, something. I don't remember
Bran.
the relationship. Yeah,
Yeah.
Bran.
Yeah.
And that they also are shapeshifter in the like the magical deer. There is the
Hmm.
whole like white
Which
the
is
big white deer
yeah.
from Alien's story. And
Hmm.
it sounded like it was the same species. I don't know why
Hmm.
they're not shifting then in the Throne of Glass universe, but it sounded very
Yeah.
much as if they were the same.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And
It could be
I
that
saw a
Aelin's.
post yesterday with a post about Temlin, who was going for Calanmai
Mm.
to kill an albino deer as well, because they had
Oh.
magical powers. So
Oh.
I don't know if it's just like a coincidence, but I think she has something with white deers at least. There must be some
Yeah.
symbolism for it.
It could be that
Yeah.
Aelin didn't shift because of her bloodline also being mixed with human bloodline. Like,
Yeah.
um,
Sorry.
or like down the line of her bloodline not being full Fae, where Rowan's bloodline has all of them are shifters and same. Well, the assumption is all of them are shifters. I guess that was never really answered. Yeah, does Rowan's cousins are they all shifters too, or just Rowan
Oh,
is shifting?
I guess I
They
assume,
were
but I don't.
powerful wind makers,
Yeah,
or what do you call them?
because they helped him in that
Mm.
battle, or they helped not him. They helped Adian in that battle. Yeah, so I guess. Oh my God, so many more questions. Thanks, Sarah.
I would say
I'm
if
looking.
Jezebel is still looking for an assistant, I would gladly. help her. Like I would
R.I.P.
love to
Crescent
work
City.
Yeah.
for a woman like that. Jesus, she is she's one of my favorite characters in the book, I would say.
She was a good one, you know, like even from the first one when she was able to like connect the cameras and like be a part of all of that, I was like, oh, this lady's pretty cool. And then I loved her banter with Ethan.
I said that in the chat. I was like, so Ethan can just get everyone he knows to info dump because he gets like Jessica to do it. He gets like the Under King to do it, and I was just like, he's not even doing anything. He just shows up, and they're like, you know what? Let me show you my entire villain story so you can know everything that happened. And I'm like, okay, Ethan, like, is this you just like half magical? What's it called? Me
Maybe.
and me and Lee play D&D, and it's like, oh, does he just have really
What,
good
like
charisma?
persuasion?
Yeah, like
Oh,
persuasion just
yeah.
shows up. And then just like, yeah, let me tell you my entire backstory just so you know it. And then the reader does. Like this. Did you guys expect Micah to be the villain? Was that very obvious, or was it something that you were like, shock?
Well, he was kind of the villain from beginning, right? Or at least the
Mm.
bad guy. He was a bad guy, but I
Hmm.
wouldn't have foreseen that he was the villain the way he was. Um, Especially not with the whole killing of the pack.
Yeah. I yeah, I don't think I expected all of the twists and turns of it, but I don't think I was super shocked. Also, that might have been a reflection of the graphic audio, just the way that actor like delivered his lines and stuff. I
You
wasn't
mean Zayden?
surprised. Yeah, bad Satan.
It's the same actor that plays Zayden in the Fourth Wig one, so it's kind of
Oh
hard to.
no,
Yeah,
that's a tough
exactly.
one.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was unfortunate. Um, so no, I guess I wasn't too surprised.
Kind of the same story with Celestina, right? Like you think they're good guys because they're like with Micah, he's just like having more of a he letting Hunt to do more. Like he's
Mm,
providing him more freedom than what his previous owner would let him. So you also get a thought of, okay, maybe he's actually a good guy if you let him, but there are all the rules around him, so he needs to kind of show his power and whatever. But yeah, I think I just hope all of this too much for people. I did the same with the Autumn King and the other king, who's just like too
Oh my
evil.
God.
oh no, you
He's
liked the other king who randomly
I
had an Irish accent?
Oh my God. I think I felt the same though. It's a great point. I felt the same with Autumn King with the first time I read it because I just was like, I was hopeful that like in the end he'd be like, that's my daughter, I guess. But no, he was just like,
Yeah.
nah. He was just
I
dumb.
I believed that he really did love Ember, so I thought that would like carry him, but apparently not. And I think they have a bonus chapter, so I'd like to read that,
No way.
but I think so.
So, who is your favorite character from the first book and why is it Lahaba?
Oh, Lahaba.
R.I.P.
Well, I actually wrote her like one of her last sentences, which was when she gives up her lives and she just got to know that she's a free person. She says, then let the world know that my first act of freedom was to help my friends. Like, how can
Oh,
you not love that girl? Like,
oh.
she is just so sassy, but with love the whole way
Mhm.
through, and she was taken from us too early.
Too
Agreed.
soon.
Yeah. But
Agreed. But it was such a
like
necessary thing.
all over the fire spirits or sprites, I don't know how you say it. They're just
Yeah,
awesome.
I
Like
love
all
them.
five of them, yeah.
All of them. Yes, agreed. When they came back, I was like, ah, we got more. This is great.
But I think it was so sad, but so necessary for Bryce's like story and development, which is so sad to
Oh.
say because Bryce already went through so much death. But it was like it was so great for like just her motivation throughout the series, and then eventually when we meet the other sprites and like showing like the connection between them. Not that like they
Mhm.
didn't like I feel like Hunt's connection enough for the sprites was like, yeah, he's a good guy. We fought for them back in the day, but like still it was a great I think it was a great character development in that sense for that death. Because I feel like sometimes SJM throws out random deaths and you're like, girl, what are you doing? Like, why did this person die? No one, they didn't need to die. But I felt like this
Mhm.
one was like unnecessary evil. Like, I think it was a needed death.
Mhm. Yeah, because like while the Danica death was like very dramatic and very traumatic for Bryce, like the Lahaba
And us
one,
as readers.
yes, the Lahaba one also traumatic for us as readers, but like it really like she got to see it in the moment and like you're right, like the motivation there and just like the connection for her. I think it's like a turning point where she can like think beyond herself a little bit. I mean, she takes some more time. She needs more time to grow in that, but I do think it's a start.
It's very similar to Aylin's death with oh my God, why can't Nehemia? Aylin's death
Oh,
with Nehemia. It's very similar in that aspect. And we don't get that with Feyre, but we get that with the other characters. I don't know if you could tell from our podcast and our opinions that we do not love Feyre at all. So anytime we mention her, it's like a roll eye roll. But I think it was interesting that like she did that again with this series. It was like she did it with that one and then this one. Um, that's a great transition, Lee. Let's talk about Bryce as a character overall, because surprisingly, Bryce was the one character that we did not say was stupid. And usually when we've been reading recent fantasy, we've been running into this like really bad trope that's been happening where all these like female main characters are just like dumb, but like it doesn't fit their character description. Like the way they act is just like silly and like you're like perfect example is Violet in Fourth Wing, where they're always like, you're not asking the right questions, or she just like it doesn't lead up to the way that she is intellectually and how she's acting.
mhm,
Yeah.
Um,
mhm,
but with Bryce, like we were getting frustrated with Bryce, but it was more in the moments where we're like, oh, she's just like not she's like projecting about like she'll be projecting. She'll be like, oh, her mom has given her so much of this hate for the veneer. So like randomly she'll be like, oh, the alcohol shit. Like it's a lot of her projecting or it's a lot of her I feel like just her immaturity coming out and she like needs to mature, but she's never dumb. And that's what I appreciate about Bryce. So what is
mhm.
your that was a long-winded question to say, what is both of your opinions on Bryce? Love her, hate her, pros, cons, Bryce Quinlan. Adelaide Quinlan, sorry.
Nice, Adelaide. Go ahead. I have feelings.
Uh, all right. I really like Bryce. I have so much in common with her, I feel as well. Um, the whole I know it's like Maz is also always putting a hobby on her female characters. Like she needs to have some kind of hobby. She needs to have
Mm.
some kind of fun little unicorn collection. Um, but because Bryce is doing ballet and I've done that as well, and just all the emotions behind it of not being this perfect size for the trait, um, I just I could recognize myself a lot in her. Um, so I just enjoyed her so much. The one thing that I would have wished that when she wrote her, not for her personality, but that she would have let us more in her thinking. Like, so it wasn't
Mm.
as big of a surprise for the reader when she suddenly had a plan.
Mhm.
I think the one time where I was just like, this is very well written is when she went to the nail artist or the manicurist to have her nails done, and then she found out all of this information through the nail artist because she was dating the some guy who knew something about Danica's murder or something like that.
Mhm. Mhm.
And that move, I was just like, yes,
Yeah.
she is clever, and I want more of that. Like that was a really well thought thing to do. So
Yeah.
and I
Yeah,
wanted
that's
more of that. I really wanted
yeah.
more of that thinking behind it because we were following a bit, but in the end of like in book 2, 3, it was more of like, oh, surprise. I had this thought the whole time,
Mhm.
and it should be a surprise for everyone else but the reader at that point because we are following Bryce so much.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I
But
wish there
power to
were
that woman, like she's amazing. I love her so much. I liked her. Even in the frustrating times where I was like, you are overreacting a bit.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Oh my God, yeah.
We can all do that sometimes.
Yeah.
We're not
I
all
think
perfect.
like right. And I think one of the things like I can appreciate about that is like it made me kind of like sit back and have to like think as the character. And there were times where like I would do that with her and I would do that with Hunt and I'd be like, okay, let me put myself like in their shoes. Like, how are they gonna react to this? Is this a normal reaction? Okay. And like a lot of times you're just reading and you're like, tra la la, like I'm reading. And but so I liked that we had to like stop and kind of think, even if it was a bit frustrating. I think especially by the end of book three, there were definitely some times where she was just throwing out plans, and I was like, "What?" Like, and I didn't like when she wouldn't tell Hunt the plans because I felt like the two of them had come such a long way, and like Jen, like you
Mhm.
talk a lot about, they have good communication. But then there would be these random times where she would do something and not tell him, and I was like, if you're gonna tell anyone, like you can tell him. Like you literally share power. Like I didn't, that was a disconnect for me. But I think, yeah, overall, like Bryce is pretty cool. I love that she's like a curvy girl, like she's not your typical. I always chuckle like when she's wearing her neon sneakers and she shows up in the Akatar world in her like yoga pants. Like I just thought
That's the
that was
best.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's similar to it with Bryson Hunt when she was doing that, and I noticed that more as we get to book two and as we get to book three for sure, that like this miscommunication that she was randomly throwing in, she was making it very similar to Roan and Aelin. And that was too much for me as well because it's like they were the one couple that SJM was able to like get down with the communication because like hopefully she heard us that we're like so over this miscommunication trope, like it's so overused. SJM uses it way too much. And to finally like have Bryce and Hunt like they like not only understand each other but they know how to talk through things was so refreshing. And it's like okay, they can mess up sometimes, but especially in book three, Bryce, it just felt like she that's where I felt out of character for her. That when Han comes back from being imprisoned and he has all this guilt and all of this stuff on him that he's taking the grunt of the mourning and stuff that he's like this is my fault, like we shouldn't have done this. She's just like, well, you're not all in. Like you just like if you were all in, then you wouldn't be feeling that way and you'd be like, okay, that like we all like made sacrifices. And I was like I remember telling Lee, I was like, okay, I understand her saying like we all make our own choices. You have to let us make our own choices and don't feel shame if we make our own choices. Like even if you said for us, let's not do this, let's not get involved in this dairy, and I still went out and did it, that's my choice, not yours. But at the same time, she can understand his trauma that he watched everyone around him die the first time this happened, and then
Mhm.
everyone died again, and then he just got tortured for like weeks, and you're telling him he's not all in? That was
Yeah.
terrible to me.
I
That was terrible.
yeah. Yeah. I struggled with that too, and I struggled with her like wanting to defeat the Asteri so much, but then gonna turn around and not help the Fae. Like she was so there was just a disconnect where she was like, I'm Queen of the Barn Fae, but then she'd be like, you don't deserve to be helped. And I was like, girl, like this is where we need to grow up. Like, and like she
And
got
that's what she
there.
needs to get
But
past her mom's projecting. Like I know it was in her head so much
yeah,
of her mom projecting in her how terrible the Fae are, but she needs to get past it. And her having the realization like, Flynn's not like that, Ruin aren't like that, like all these other I'm like, you didn't have this realization like 2 books ago. Like you've
yeah,
known good Fae your entire life. And for
yeah,
you to say that all of them are bad, it's like, no, they just had a bad and I think what's her name points that out to her. Darian's new life. Oh my God. See, there's too many characters. Um Flynn's
Cynthia
sister.
or something.
Yeah, she points it out to like, or no, not her. I think it was Baxian. I'm sorry. That like they just didn't have a good ruler. And I was like, people could be
Mhm.
different if they have a good ruler. They're not inherently bad. And I'm like, did Bryce really believe that these people were just born inherently bad? I was like, that's not, no.
Yeah.
She could have been the change if she had kept the position. And you don't get change just from one signature from the other. Like she could have been a great front person for having a shared community and not just like Faye rule them all.
Mhm.
Um, so. I wish she would have kept it a bit more to kind of see, like, show off her big friend groups of so many different kinds of people and just show off, like, we can still be one community and one society together.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I do wish I understood her wanting to like start a new democracy and all these things, but like if these people need guidance, then don't abandon them so quickly. Okay, book two. What are you guys' feelings on book two? I know a lot of people don't like it because it feels like nothing happens. Or it feels like something happens at the beginning, it's so slow in the middle, and then at the end we get the SJM wrap up of things happening. And then we get to the introduction. But what was your like overall feeling? I know that's a long question to ask because it's a huge book and so much whatever. What did you guys feel of book two?
But I think I need a reminder because I went from book one, two, three so fast that I don't really
Oh,
remember the end of
yeah.
book two.
Book
So I remember
two,
we kind of leave book one where she got her powers and whatnot, and then book
Mm.
two, where do we leave them there?
yeah. So book two, a lot of it goes with like, oh, it starts with the whole
Ah,
Thunderbird
yes.
plot
Yes.
line with the
Yeah.
two of them.
Sophie.
And then Cormac has introduced Sophie, and then they were gonna live their lives and be like under the radar. And then this comes out that Danica was helping Sophie. So then Bryce is like, okay, do I go and help? Like I want to go help. And Hunt is like, no, we're not gonna get involved. And then Bryce is like, yes, we're gonna get involved. And that's where they officially take their princess role as well. She does that. We have Hypaxia more involved because the new Archangel is introduced. And then we go all the way to their semantics of trying to find Sophie, trying to find Emil, blah, blah,
Mhm.
blah, to them deciding to break into the Asteri stronghold to get the information that Sophie got. Bryce finds out everything about the Asteria being parasites taking over the world. They get caught because they're not that smart. And then Rune and Hunt get caught. Oh, of course, book two is our main plot of Agent Day, Bright, and Agent Night,
Yay.
right? Agent Knight,
Just
and
yeah.
their story of them falling in love. And then he goes out looking for her, and then it gets caught by Mordock, who's also introduced as Annika's father. We meet Bax again in book two, find out it's her mate, and then they get arrested, and we leave with book two with Bryce getting sent into the portal where she thought was going to go to hell. She lands in front of Reese's front yard. Asriel takes her, and then the book I think literally ends with Rhysand's line saying, "Hello, I
Mhm.
am Rhysand," and that's the end of book two.
Mhm.
Great recap.
Thank you. There's also
Yeah.
so
Uh,
many side plots that I didn't even mention.
yeah. Yeah, so I actually, yeah, so book one kind of ends on the happy note, right? Like the
Hmm.
happily ever after.
Yeah.
You just live under, like, silently by yourself, don't make any noise and whatnot. And then book two, I thought we were changing a whole new side of this world or a whole new point of view. And I was like, it was a really, really great prologue, just action packed and well written. And I was like, yes, let's go. And then we were back with Bryce and Hunt, and I was like, no. No, no, why are we back? They're fine. Like, leave them be. Can we just
Right.
go back? Like, they're fine. Just let them be happy and with their reality TV and whatnot.
I think it did feel like you were just kind of coasting along. Like I but I didn't hate that. I think I just like accepted it. And then after a while I was like, wait, nothing has happened. What is going to happen? And like I didn't fully understand Bryce's like obsession with Emil.
Hmm.
Like I think that felt maybe a little forced. But I think ultimately it was trying to like lead her towards this growth, towards this like like overarching like caring and like leaning into power kind of thing. It felt a little sudden to me. Um, but yeah.
I was gonna say, like, I agree with that, like the prologue was so action packed and so much about like focusing on the humans and the bad treatment they had that when I went into this the first time and the second time, you kind of think like if we're gonna go back to Bryce Hunt, like maybe she's gonna be like, I don't want to just stay on the radar. Like I want to help the humans. Like she's just kind of been like accepting that for so long. I mean, like as not just her, but as everyone else around them has accepted that like the humans are enslaved, the humans are this, the humans are that. But I was hoping the book would then lean to her being like, I have all this power, like I'm gonna liberate, like let's go. And it ends up that she only does it because of Danica. Again.
Well, yeah, yeah.
It's surprising
Uh,
for Bryce, I would say. She's not an
And
A-list in that.
there was a more focus on the whole Phillips Briggs as well, the human
oh
rebel.
Yeah, forgot
hmm.
about him.
And I wanted to hear more about how he was basically just in prison the whole time in the book. I thought they were going to use him a bit more, but it was all about distrust and no, no, just let him be some kind of information, source of information and just an aid for the plot of the book.
Right.
But
He's their
I
like
would love
bone carver.
to, yeah. But I think that's that's a lot of this book. We meet a lot of sources of information and not so much characters that will kind of um get the plot moving. So yeah,
So true. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
bit of
agree.
a filler book.
Yeah.
It
Long filler book.
is for 800
Long.
pages.
Yeah.
Insane. Okay, great. So that's all we need to say about book two.
And
It's
also
getting
where like her, I wanted to hear more about Hypaxia. I thought she was
Yeah.
so awesome. She was so great.
she did have like a good intro, you know. She was like the
Yeah.
secret like med nurse, and then like all of a sudden here she is, like her sister is Lydia, like what's going on there?
And
And
then
yeah,
all of a sudden, Rune is dating this Daybright. Why you have the Hypaxia? Like she, how can you not like Hypaxia? Just married her now.
Yeah, and we definitely got the assumption. I mean, I keep comparing it to Throne of Glass, but like I definitely got the assumption that she was gonna make Hypaxia similar in Manon's story, which even though they're both witches, that's
Mm,
not the similarity, but like where she enters in Manon by like book three, I think, and then like the growth of that person's story to see how impactful their overall presence is in the story and the plot. And I was like, okay, we're dealing with Hypaxia, yeah. And then it's like kind of doesn't. She kind of falls flat, honestly, in the end. Like,
yeah.
yes, she becomes the queen of the underworld or whatever,
Hmm.
whatever, the bone quarter, but it's like she just kind of is just her and Ethan, and it's like, and also, I don't know if this is just me, but like the fact that she can find an antidote in like 10 hours after someone just told her about this, I was like, you're that smart? I was like, okay, like I believe you, girl, but like I needed more of that. Like that was just, it felt very like this is helping the plot and helping them move forward rather than like
Yeah.
Hypaxia is a central character to the plot.
Yeah. I'm like, she makes the major mistake like with Sigrid and like turning her into a Reaper, and I was like, that's
Oh
pretty
yeah.
bad. Like, you're not good at this.
I
Yeah, I
thought
can.
that that Hypaxia had somehow potentially brought Danica back in Secret's body because they're both
Ooh.
Oh,
vampires. So it's just like, oh, we've
oh,
heard so much about Danica, so this must be the way that she's brought back into the story.
wow.
Wow. That would have been
But yeah.
sick. Write a fan fiction. That would have been sick. That would have been great for you,
Yeah,
Lee, because you're like, she's not gone.
no. But instead, she had, what was the brother's name? Connor. Connor was just kind of lingering around, and I was like, we didn't need that. Like, I knew she was going to use him in some way. I thought it was going to be a little more sinister, but I
Mm,
just didn't think that I understand like Ethan needed closure, but I didn't think that that worked as well.
yeah, I
But and
agree.
like and then it just added to like they all like work together to make this one bullet, this special bullet that only Bryce can use. Like,
And like
okay.
still didn't solve the problem. Like they still had so much more to do after that. So it was like great, but
And there was
great.
so much of like, we have to get here, we have to get to Bryce, we have to get to this person. And like magically, there they were. And I was like, are we not like all over whatever continent this land is? But
Suspended
Okay.
disbelief, Lee. They can travel super fast somehow.
Yeah, I mean, she can winnow or what do they call it
She calls
in
it
Crescent City?
teleporting.
Teleporting. Okay, that makes sense.
Makes sense.
Um,
Which great transition, because let's talk about book three, even though we talked about it a lot throughout this. So book three, we start with our ACOTAR world, girlies. We are back in ACOTAR, where SJM has reminded us that she is regretting giving Feyre the main character role because clearly she wants to give it to Nesta instead. We are meeting Rhysand, Amren, Asriel, Nesta, Cassian. Feyre comes in for a hot second, then she's gone. And then mainly we stick with Nesta, Asriel, Bryce, and sometimes Rhysand. So what? Let me get y'all's review on this. What's your review on this ACOTAR mashup? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Were you disappointed? Did you think it was gonna be more of the book and not just like dumping vibes?
I'm
I
happy
mean,
that I knew the characters before going into
mhm.
this book because the name is just names being dropped. Like you're not revisiting and relearning the characters through book three here. So I'm really happy, and I would recommend other who will read Crescent City to go read Akutsa first, so they
Mhm.
get to know the characters at least one, two, and three. Um, maybe the rest as well if they want to.
I would say four
um,
too. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Uh,
think, well, four because you got to learn about the mask and
And Nesta.
uh yeah, like all the things that Nesta controls and like her power. And I think I don't even know if she says Amren's name. I think she just describes her and as being like, this small woman with the pixie cut who's like
Oh,
terrifying. And you're like, oh yeah, that's Amren.
yeah.
So yeah, definitely, you definitely have to do a little homework
which a
to,
lot of people also kind of connect with Fury,
oh yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Hmm.
who we also not hear that much about, but
No, she's
there
gone.
is maybe something there. Or the Asteris or um the bad guys. What do you call them? Asterion?
Yeah,
Asteris?
yeah.
Yeah, Stary or Daglin. Either
Yeah.
one, depending on which series you're in.
Hmm. Um,
Well, that's a good point
and
because we don't actually know how old Fury is. Like, yeah, she's in college with them, but like the Amryn sticks herself into a body that is essentially ageless in a sense. So Fury could be have much connection to Amryn and could have
Mm.
also fallen from Amryn's world the same way that Amryn was let go by her father because he wanted her to experience love or whatever the story is.
right.
So there could be a huge connection between Amryn and Fury, and we just don't
Isn't
know.
there someone in Hunt's like troop that's like that too? She's a wraith or something.
Yes, she's a wraith.
Oh yeah.
Is
Vicky,
that Naomi,
Victoria, Victoria.
Victoria?
I don't know.
The
She's still at
The
the
one.
who
bottom of
is
the sea.
stuck. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
poor
she's
woman.
still there. She's just chilling by the end of book three. They didn't go back to get her. Like
No,
Hunt just left her ass there.
got other things to worry about.
Yeah,
I think
like Bryce writing the Pegasus was the end of the
the
book rather than
Pegasus.
them going back
Yeah,
for Victoria. Yep.
yeah, yeah. Um, I think I kept saying this. Like I liked Azrael so much more in Crescent City because I think he was the one person that we saw a little bit more of his personality. And unfortunately, like we all read the bonus chapter, so we kind of had to like reconfigure our brains about him. Yeah. And I think this book did a pretty good job of that. Like I liked him better and I understood him more. But I don't know. There was a lot of back and forth, especially between him and Bryce in those chapters that just didn't feel necessary. Because like Bryce kept trying to like outsmart them. Like obviously she's trying to go home, but
Yeah.
then she would feel bad. And I was like, I need you to pick a lane. And either y'all are gonna work together or you're not. And I also just think it was so interesting that like it really wasn't Reese and it wasn't Feyre. And even like later on in the book
Oh my God.
when Bryce's mom and dad are like stuck in Akatar land for safety and Bryce comes to get them and her mom's like, yeah, we were here with Rhysand and his mate, Feyre. It's like that's all she gets.
Yeah, you literally were like, wow, she gets downgraded to just be Reese's mate. And I was like, that's
Like,
that's happened to her and it's insane. Is she not your main character? I guess she's not your main character.
So recent, Rysand, hmm? It was interesting to see him from a stranger's point of view and how
mm,
he still acts very as if I'm not gonna mind read without your consent,
mm,
but it's still like he still have this like power game going on somehow where he just don't seem like a nice guy. And I used the whole Akuta series just to get to the point where I'm just like, oh, he does it for the greater good, or he does it for protecting what's important to
mm.
him and the whole city and whatnot. But then we meet him again here, and I just got rewinded back to uh the first time Feyre meets him, where it's just like, I don't know if you're like just a tricky guy, like a creepy dude, or if you're actually just someone who is a bit awkward while they flirt, or
Yeah, and it reminded me because it's like I know they really talk about Akatar like Reese's like persona, like he puts that persona on of like being a
Mm.
dick or whatever, and then Feyre
Mhm.
like can see through and it's like oh he just did that all these years to protect, like he's not really like that, and then like when Nesta talks about him and her perspective with him, I'm like yo he kind of is a dick, like he I know he was like his persona, but how much of that persona like end up blending into his actual personality because I think that like I am hot take I am not a Reese fan. I think him and Feyre are great together because I'm also not a Feyre fan, but like I think Nessa's perspective was so great to see that like Reese kind of is full of himself in the end of the day. And like yes, he is doing things for the greater good and he still believes in that. He's not like he's not a narcissist or anything like that, but like I still think he like definitely craves that attention. And so seeing it from Bryce's perspective just made me like further confirm that like nah, Reese is he ain't shit. Like he still has his flaws and he's not the best like male main character.
I just thought it was interesting. Like, I know I said in the group, like, they go from his house, right? 1 minute, because that's where she lands. And then the next, like, she's in the dungeon.
Well,
Like,
no, they bring her to House of Wind first.
but then she's in the dungeon. And,
Yeah, then she's in the dungeon.
but more like, he has Az deal with her. So part of me is like, does he not think that she's really a threat? So he's not going to deal with it?
Well, no, that's how
Or,
they had it for the other books too in ACOTAR. Like when they would have when they got the soldiers from the Autumn Court soldiers in Nessus a book that were like crazy. They also have Az go first because Az is their spy master
yeah.
and their torturer. So usually
Mhm.
that's normal for Az to always go before Reese and Amryn
I
show
just
up.
I just thought it was interesting. I mean, I didn't dislike it. I just obviously then it's not fan service, which I guess I can appreciate because she's not just plugging in Reese.
Hmm.
But part of me is like, I don't think we needed this. Like, I don't
I kind of
know.
agree with you, but that's what I was
the
saying
the
is
whole
a lot of people.
crossover, or as like adding Asriel.
Like, I understand the crossover, so she could understand the Asteri, but I'm not sure that we needed the characters. Because she could very well have just fallen into that cave and Celine had just woken up and told her everything.
That's
Hmm.
true. That's very true.
But
Because she didn't explore the world of ACOTAR to find out this information. She just was like
no.
underneath these caves and then got info dumped on. So it could have
But it
been done differently.
but I suppose we needed like Amren's knowledge and we needed the mask.
And we also needed to hand over the sword, right? For the
Yeah. And
next
Oh,
and
Akuta
and
yeah.
the
book.
knife. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So
But
yes,
I'm very
and
curious because the two realms is kind of like I don't want anything to do with you now that we have finished our cooperation in
mhm.
protecting your mother. We have now the sword for the Akuta series. Um, and then there's this like, well, now we don't want to see each other again. And I'm very interested in if this was it for this crossover, or if she somehow opens up all the portals at some point, like the Avengers game, Endgame, where
Yeah, well,
everything
she's
just comes
You
back.
do. Like at that
well,
moment.
yeah, so she's created three world walkers, right? Is that what they're called? The
Yeah, yeah, I guess you could say all three. I mean, I don't know if you would necessarily consider Aelin a world walker anymore because she closed everything and she doesn't have her power anymore.
hmm,
But like she eventually did. You're right because like Nesta's the world walker with the harp, Bryce with the horn, and then Aelin though like with the
yeah.
word marks essentially. Like she could create. I mean, she could figure it out because Maeve did it. Maeve did it
Hmm.
with the freaking word marks and the gates and whatever. So
Hmm.
yeah, she could do that.
So I feel like there's more to go. So, okay, that'll lead us to our question of predictions, thoughts for the future. What's going to happen next?
Well, speaking of Nesta, she really ends it with like a lot of people think the next book is going to be about Elaine for the Akatar ones. I I mean, I think it kind of is, but like she leaves Nesta's story as if she wants to start another series with Nesta because she leaves it where
She
Bryce
lives it with
tells
the
her,
Queen also. Like with if we go back to the Ekata series, we've just figured out that the Queen has taken XYZ. So we're still in the story of following Nesta, aren't we?
"Oh, yes,
Like
the human queen?
Yeah.
yeah,
Did they die?
not all of them.
There is
Oh my
this
God, I forgot
one
about that.
who was turned into an old hag, I
Hmm.
think they call her. Because he
Hmm.
Yeah.
wanted so badly to be a fae, and then the cauldron made her this old, forever living hag, like an old lady. Um, and she just wants revenge.
On
So I'm
And
Nesta.
pretty sure they took something, and I don't remember what it was.
I think
But
that
with
might be her connection to like Lucian because he's been in like the human world, right? With
oh,
the what's his name?
the trio.
Yeah. So maybe that'll like is what brings them together.
Well,
And
I
then
was
yeah,
thinking
they're
because like Bryce references specifically like Nesta's tattoo with her eight-pointed star and how Nesta's connected, and that's why Nesta was in this. And then she ends up giving Nesta the the sword and the knife, and when they're reunited, born out of nowhere, all this stuff. So it's like there could be a huge plot with Nesta that's next coming,
Mhm.
and either that the Daglin are coming back, which makes no sense because Bryce killed them,
I don't yeah.
or yeah, I don't really know where they're gonna go with that, but it made it seem like she wasn't throwing it out there for nothing, that there is something else to come with Nesta. But I don't know what it is. And I don't know why she keeps doing Akatar stories. I feel like Akatar was pretty wrapped up in my opinion. So when I found out there was gonna be more Akatars, I was like, why?
Yeah. I mean, I guess she just has more like if for nothing else, she does have a lane that she has to deal with.
And Tamlin.
I think that there's going to be like an ultimate crossover eventually. And I know we've talked about is there a fourth series in the works? And I think that's possible too. But I just think that Crescent City has so much like there's the obvious connection to ACOTAR that I do think there will be something more with them. But I think it'll be an ACOTAR book. And but then Crescent City like also has the roots of Throne of Glass. So I think that can be explored more. And like I don't know if that makes it like a prequel where we like look at the past. Not sure. I think the next Crescent City is gonna be hard though because they are gonna run out of power. So they're gonna need to find magic or something,
Nah,
right?
Declan's figuring that shit out. Declan's gonna figure it out.
Oh, that actually that really that suits very well what I was gonna say with the lack of power, because the Ocean Queen has enough power to kind of get her ships to power
Mhm.
through and have enough energy to move through the waters and whatnot, have cities, these amazing cities in like under sub boats. So we are lacking the House of Many Waters to have a title, to have a book coming, right?
That's
And
True.
and we're
that's
kind of leaving a
true.
cliffhanger with Therion and then his what I just wrote as dragon girlfriend. So maybe there
That's
is some
true.
kind of take on House of Many Waters and Therian and yeah, maybe.
That's interesting. Yeah,
Hate
because I kind of
Tyrion.
thought the next one would be Ethan, but maybe not. Maybe it is.
Stupid
But what
I
I
Tyrion.
don't
really
know.
want is like a side story with Ember and Randall
Mm,
and
yeah.
their visit with Nesta. I would
Well,
love to hear more about that.
I think that is a bonus chapter.
Oh my
It
I don't know
God,
is.
like
how
how many bonus chapters exist? We
there's
need to
so
find
many.
them all.
And they're not short. That's the problem. It's like I was gonna read a bunch and I was like, but these are like 20 pages long.
That is so funny.
But that was one of the ones, yeah, I flagged that I was like, ooh, I do want to hear what happens
Okay,
because Cassian's in that. So,
fine. Crescent City, the bonus chapter. There is none. The bonus chapter for the second one for Sky and Breath is Ruin's bonus chapter. Ruin's sister Sathia visits her brother, Ruin and Declan at their house to question the validity of Bryce's and Cormac's engagement. Then there's another Bryce and Hunt chapter. Cormac is forced to bring Bryce with him as his fiance to a luncheon at Flynn's family's house. Then there is a Tharian bonus chapter. Tharian thinks about his first time meeting Hypaxia. Flame and Shadow. Ember and Randall. What happens after Bryce leaves her parents in Valaris? Bryce and Danica. What happened the night Danica had secretly
mm.
tattooed the horn on Bryce's back? Bryce, Nesta, and Azriel. Getting to know each other and the differences between their world. Bryce and Hunt. It's Bryce and Hunt's first Christmas together, and they are visiting Ember and Randall. And the last one is Ruin and Lydia are decide where they want their relationship to go. So, yeah, a lot of extra bonus chapters, and now I definitely want to read them all. But yeah, that's kind of annoying. I was telling you, I wish they did the graphic audio for them so we could get like the characters to just be in it.
When I read the Rune and Lydia one, I like tried to do it in my head.
Oh,
I
you read
like
it?
tried. Yeah, yeah,
Was it
because
good?
it's when they get married. So,
Stop! Ugh, I
yeah,
do love them so
it
much.
was
Okay,
cute.
fine.
Yeah.
Guess I'll read it. That makes sense because I saw fan art of their wedding, like her wedding dress.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
I had like seen a spoiler, not like early on, but like that they got married. And so when I finished the book, I was like, wait a minute, like it didn't happen. Where is it? I was like, is this off page? But then I saw that. That was cute.
Wait, I do have one more question for you guys before we start to wrap up. Did you predict that Lydia was Daybright?
Yes.
Well, if you saw me, all of my comments in the book club, no, I went from Hypaxia, but I was just like, we already have some kind of surprise with her. Celestina was also one for me,
Mhm.
and I went
Celestina's a big
all over
one.
the place. Yeah, I actually thought it was Celestina at some point because she was also very much, there were so many hints about her standing in the light, like her
Mm.
having opened up the whole, she had like redone the whole interior design of the place after Micah had died, or well, Bryce killed him. Um,
Oh,
with all the light, and there were so many hints in that way. So it's like it must be Celestina. But well, she had another secret, which
She
I
did.
understand.
You're reading so critically. No, I think I had narrowed it down to like those three, maybe her and Hypaxia, but I was just like, no, it's gotta be.
Danica.
And it, yeah, it may have been just because we knew, like, it was the Hind, and then all of a sudden, like, someone had said Lydia, and I was like, why are you saying her real name? Like, she's somebody else. So I think that was,
As a fan of Love is Blind as well, I did really enjoy the Rune and Lydia meetup and their evolvement of their relationship.
My God, that's so
I,
true. And
I
it's
love
like
that.
Love is Blind when like they find out that this person's been lying about having kids the whole time, and
Oh
it's
yeah.
just like, oh, shock, she's had kids the whole time. You're like, what? What do you mean?
Oh my God, I love that comparison.
Oh my God, yeah. Which I love her kids too. Also, I wasn't upset by the whole. I know SJM likes to draw a lot of like pregnancy and kids thing. That one was one that didn't upset me. That I was like, this fit Lydia's.
It made sense for her choices then. Was there a need for them to be kidnapped? No, not really. Um,
No.
that was not really part of the whole
Alex.
main plot that we needed to hear, but
I think they added to her character, like, and they were both like interesting boys, you know, the one of them who like doesn't really like her, and then I loved when they were kidnapped and they got like saved by Rune, and he was like running with them and like we're gonna get out of here. I was like,
And they called
oh,
her mom. They're like, thanks, mom. And then she was like, you called me
oh.
mom. And I was like, yes.
This book had more representation, which was nice.
Yeah, really nice fresh jam. Book one, two, three. Overall series. What is your guys' rating out of five of the entire series?
by memory, I will say the whole series is on 3.75 for me, if that's legal
Mhm.
in the
Yes, it
Fable
is.
community.
You
Um,
can.
the books are rated a bit different, but sometimes a series is just rated higher than the individual book, and that's just typical for me.
Hmm.
But yeah, the whole series 3.75. I think there is some writing from Sarah that could have been edited. The character development, which we see in book one, mostly two again, was lacking a bit in the book three. But the plot as well, the main plot, if you take out all the sub,
Right.
it's just so action packed, and it feels sometimes as if I'm actually watching like a romance um series with all the images I get in my head.
Mm.
Um, so I think this book, like these books, are really made for being made into a television series.
Oh my God,
Like,
yeah.
hello. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that would be really cool, actually. Um, I think I would give it a 4. I mean, my ratings are pretty high on Fable, so we'll average it out. But I gave the second one the lowest rating, which was only like 3.5. Um, but yeah, I enjoyed the characters. I thought it was kind of like a refreshing setting. The first one definitely like took me off guard in terms of plot, which I liked, and yeah, I definitely enjoyed it. I liked being in this world. I liked um the twists and the turns
A little
and just
mystery.
yeah, and like that's not usually like my go-to in a read
Mm,
or anything. So I
Sure.
was into it.
I looked at my Fable because you inspired me. And I gave book one a four. Book two and three got a three. So I guess I could average to say it's like a 3.5 for the series. Um, like I said, I highly recommended doing graphic audio. That changed the perspective for me. I fell in love with Bryce more. I fell in love with Hunt more. I fell in love with the relationship more. Um, and to like space it out, I think my problem was maybe I went from like when I first read it, like I went from Throne of Glass like straight into Crescent City, and I think that might have
Mm.
actually been a disservice because I was like so in love with Crescent City, and then I was just like, oh wait, sorry, Throne of Glass, and I was like, what is this? Um, so yeah, I would say a 3.5 overall. I think that's everything. I think we recapped the series really well. We recapped the books, we recapped characters. So thank you guys both. Thank you so much for being our special guest today. Like, oh my gosh.
Thank you.
thank you for having me. It's been wonderful. It's kind
Yeah.
of amazing to meet guys on in this like book club, and then suddenly
I
just
know.
you're on this podcast and meeting you guys. It's so crazy you're around the world.
I
Literally.
know. I
Yeah.
know.
Literally.
Oh yeah, for
How lovely.
listeners, I'm in Denmark, so it's quite the change in time zones. So
Yes, international, international. Love it.
Lee, you wanna wrap us up with the book club TikTok info?
Yeah. Okay. So if you haven't already, please follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Baytailed Podcast. We are doing our best to be active and we've been having a lot of fun with it. And we just would love to have any more interactions. Let us know what you're reading. Thoughts, feelings about Crescent City. We had our giveaway. It went really, really well. And then obviously, like, join us on Fable. You'll meet all kinds of fun new people from all over the world that you can talk books with. So we have 3 different book clubs. We have our SJM for first timers, which is actually wrapping up, which is so crazy. But we are going to shift into our fantasy and dystopian,
Yeah, it'll
and
be
we're
already that way by the time the episode comes out right now.
which is wild. We'll be in the middle of Divine Rivals, which I'm so excited to read. I think I got this book in August, so it's been a long time coming, but excited to have everyone chime in and read it along with us. We also have our Fourth Wing book club and our Hunger Games book club, which even if they say like they haven't been active, like we are checking, we are like liking, commenting. Jen gets all of her fan art, which we just love. And obviously, like Sunrise just keeps on coming. So if you are a Hunger Games fan, please join us. It's called Rebellion Reads. And I think that's about it. Thank
Yeah,
you
great
for
wrap up,
listening.
Lee. Thank you for listening, and as we say every episode, happy reading.
Happy reading.